I'm Wayne Dellinger. I'm the Ag and Natural Resources Educator for Union County, and we're here in Marysville, Ohio.
Name's Ryan Lee, farm with my brother Greg and my father Gary.
My name is Greg Lee. We farm just outside of here, Marysville, Ohio, in Union County.
Sesquicentennial farm, over 150 years here in this location on a couple different tracks. Well, this is, I'd say this is probably our third or fourth year doing trials. We've done anything from fungicide to planting population on both corn and beans. And this year we chose to do a planting speed trial on corn.
In the speed study, we did 4 different speeds, 5, 7.5, 10, and 12 miles per hour. Replicated, I believe, 4 times, ran them across the field.
Well, when people are buying this newer equipment, sometimes they're a little bit apprehensive about, really opening it up with a high-speed planter. So maybe they aren't using the equipment to its fullest potential, what it was designed for. And sometimes they just need that research-based plot system and eFields research to reassure them that it's not going to be a detriment, but it's actually going to be a benefit to their operation because they can get their crops in quicker in between, weather events.
A lot of it boils down to really 2 things. The planting window seems to be narrower and a lot more intense demands when it's here, and it's also a cost management standpoint. At the end of the day, we have to be low-cost producers. We're trying to get down to that cost per bushel, and at least the last time we really looked at it, for the number of acres of corn we're planting, we probably should have a 24-row machine. And we figured rather conservatively that if we increased our planting speed well below the speeds that were on the top end of this study, that we had the equivalent of about a 20.5-row planter. And if you look at us running a high-speed 16 versus a traditional 24-row, it's cheaper up front, less depreciation on the backside. There's just a lot more demand for a 16-row planter than a used 24-row planter. Because when you're to the size where you need a 24-row machine or bigger, there's a really high depreciation cost of that, because not many people want to look at that 24-row planter after you don't feel it's reliable enough for your operation anymore.
So the measurements that we're going to take, we do stand counts to see if the speed affected the stand counts, the emergence of the corn. So, if they were going at the maximum rate of our study, did we have a poor emergence because we were going too fast? So we did emergence, we did stand counts, and then we're also going to do yield results at the end this fall.
It all goes down to, cost per bushel. We want to minimize that, but yet maximize yield.
Greg noticed that actually the faster you ran, the better the ride was. And I guess the theory we've kind of developed is that maybe the hydraulic downforce is a little too sensitive for slower speeds, and it might actually perform better at higher speeds.
Research is always important because, the big thing is if you're not moving forward, you're not progressing, you're not bettering yourselves. And as fast as things are moving along, you have to be on the edge of technology and the edge of production practices to maximize your return. You have to. You don't have any choice. We've got too much invested per acre to leave anything on the table. So you constantly got to be evaluating what's the next best thing. You can't always have that mindset of, well, this is the way we've always done it, because you're going to find yourself way behind.
We like to do the research on our farm because we get to see it firsthand, and then you get to meet with some other like-minded producers who are also participating in it, and just the unbiased information from the university coupled with it happening on your farm just really gives a lot of credibility to the research.
2021, we did a new study with them. In the past, we've done some soybean fungicide trials and some soybean seeding rate trials. 2021, we added a new one, which was a planter speed trial with corn. Using their John Deere 1775 NT planter. We had 4 different treatments, which were 5 miles an hour, 7.5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, and 12 miles an hour. We randomized those treatments across 4 replications across the field. It was a good place to run this trial where we could run a constant seeding rate across all the replications to get good results. This field soil type, it's quite a mixture. It's Blount silt loam, majority Glenwood silt, and PMO silty clay loam. So drainage kind of varies across the field, but overall, good place to run this trial. Now we put the corn in on May 19th and then harvested on November 6th. It was DeKalb 6357 at a population of 34,000 seeds per acre. These were on 30-inch rows. Now when we did the emergence stand counts, we really didn't observe a whole lot of difference across these treatments. When we did take the harvest data, there was a little bit of difference noticed. In the emergence, not so much. The moisture varied within 0.1%, but our yields only varied by 3 bushels per acre. However, when we ran the statistics, our least significant difference was actually 2.8. So we had a difference of less than 3 bushels per acre that would be significant, and we did have that difference between the 5 mile per hour and the 7.5 mile per hour, but we did not see a difference between the 5 mile per hour versus the 10 mile an hour or the 12 mile an hour. So basically we were looking at no real significant difference, and when we put a dollar figure to the difference between going 5 or 7.5 miles per hour versus beating the rain by getting a seeding rate planter speed of 10 miles an hour or 12 miles an hour, we could pretty easily make up that difference of a bushel per acre to take it out of any kind of significant difference.
Actually, Wayne did all the hard work, and got to give Wayne a lot of credit, because part of the time when we're pushing planting windows to get these studies in, I think the one year we did a planting study for bean populations, and it was starting to rain, and I was quite comfortable in the tractor and very dry, and poor Wayne was the one that got drenched on that deal. So I mean, that's really the beauty of this whole eFields study. We don't really have time to do the trials the correct way. You know, we do the kind of quick and dirty, does it show up on the yield monitor, but we're actually getting the kind of scientific analysis, you know, the regression analysis and all the statistical sides that we're not really well equipped for.
The great thing about that is if you decide to do one, he's actually helping you become comfortable by being uncomfortable. And the only way you're gonna, improve yourself is to be in that uncomfortable range of doing something. You know, when you're sitting there, planting at 12 mile an hour, when you're usually at 5 to 6, it's kind of eye-opening.
The thing I really like is that, there was a time that we felt we really had a really robust relationship with Extension, and they were doing a lot of things in terms of test plots and such. Those were very labor intensive, and as Extension resources got stretched, those kind of went away, and so did the relevance of Extension to our farm. But this is really great to have this come back with the eFields, and really enjoy working with Wayne.
Each situation is a little bit different, and that's the nice thing about these eFields, is that they're using all different types of scenarios for all the varying practices that are going on in the state of Ohio.
This is easy, it's relevant, it's farm level, and I really think that it's really helped put Extension back on the map at the farm gate once again. Yeah, and I think farmers are the ultimate environmentalists. Here my family's been in the same spot for over 150 years. And so we've got to take that long-term view. It's very, very important to us because we drink that water too. And it just plain makes agronomic sense to both take care of the environment and drive the bottom line.
And but my grandfather always said, if you take care of the land will take care of you. And this land's going to be here a lot longer than we are. So we need to make sure it's in great shape.
Want to learn more? Visit the link on screen to get your copy of this year's eFields report.